A few months ago, I sat down to work on something important. Laptop open, coffee ready, phone on the desk. I told myself, all right, 1 hour, let's focus. 10 minutes later, I was watching a completely unrelated video, and I don't even remember how I got there. It started with something small. I was writing, then a thought popped into my head. Let me quickly check something. So I opened a new tab, then another. Then I noticed a message notification. Replied, picked up my phone, checked something else, then something else. 20 minutes passed, then 30. When I finally looked back at the document, I felt strangely tired. Not physically tired, mentally scattered, like my brain had been pulled in 5 different directions, and a task that felt simple an hour ago suddenly felt heavy, harder. That's when I realized something. The problem wasn't that I didn't have time. The problem was that my attention was constantly breaking. Think about how often this happens. You sit down to do something meaningful, work, study, build something, but before you can really get into it, something interrupts the flow. A notification, a thought, a quick check, a message, and every time it happens, your brain has to restart, like trying to push a heavy car forward, but someone keeps pulling the brake. Most people live their entire day like this, switching, checking, restarting, and by the end of the day, they feel busy, but strangely unproductive, not because they didn't work, but because they never stayed with anything long enough to go deep. There's a hidden cost to distraction that most people never notice. Every time you switch tasks, your brain leaves something behind. Researchers call this attention residue. Part of your mind stays attached to the previous task, so when you move on to the next one, you're not fully there. You're partially thinking about what you just left. Now imagine doing this dozens of times a day. Your brain never settles. Your thinking never deepens. Your ideas stay shallow. And eventually, focus starts feeling impossible. But here's the important part. Deep focus isn't something you're born with. It's something your brain learns to enter. And like any skill, it can be trained. But you need a system that protects it. That's where the 3-step method comes in. Step 1. Create a focus entry ritual. Most people try to jump into work instantly, but your brain doesn't switch into focus mode immediately. It needs a transition. Think about athletes before a game. They stretch, they warm up, they prepare their body to perform. Your brain needs the same thing. Before starting deep work, create a simple entry ritual, something small that signals it's time to focus. For example, clear your desk, open only the one tab you need, take a deep breath, set a timer. These actions sound simple, but they tell your brain that a different mode of thinking is beginning. Over time, this ritual becomes a trigger, and focus becomes easier to enter. Step 2. Protect the first 20 minutes. The first part of focused work is always the hardest. Your brain will try to escape. You'll suddenly remember things you want to check, messages you might respond to, random ideas. This isn't weakness, it's resistance. Your brain is used to stimulation, scrolling, switching, checking. Deep work feels unfamiliar at first. That's why the most important rule is simple. Protect the first 20 minutes. No switching tasks, no checking notifications, no leaving the work. Just stay with the task, even if progress feels slow. Once you pass that initial resistance, something interesting happens. Your mind starts settling, ideas begin connecting, and the work becomes easier. This is the doorway into deep focus. Most people quit before they reach it. Step 3. Expand your focus capacity. Deep focus works like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. If you're used to constant distraction, long focus sessions will feel exhausting. That's normal, so start smaller. 30 minutes of uninterrupted work. Then gradually extend it. 40 minutes, 50 minutes, an hour. Over time, your brain adapts. What once felt difficult becomes normal, and eventually, you reach a point where you can stay deeply engaged with a problem for long stretches of time. That's where real breakthroughs happen, not in scattered minutes, but in protected blocks of attention. We often admire people who produce incredible work, writers, scientists, creators, entrepreneurs. From the outside, it looks like talent or discipline, but often the real difference is simpler. They've learned how to protect their attention. They create environments where deep thinking is possible, and they stay with problems longer than most people are willing to. In a world full of constant noise, that ability becomes extremely rare and extremely valuable. Your focus is not broken, it's just untrained. Start small, protect your attention, stay with the work long enough for your mind to go deeper, because the people who win in a distracted world are the ones who can still focus. Do the work,